Lift the lid on a pot of soup, stew, or sauce, and the first thing that reaches you is not a shape, but an aroma. It feels warm, deep, somehow fuller than the ingredients you can immediately name. Then, floating quietly on the surface, you notice a stiff little leaf. Almost no one plans to eat it. Most people fish it out at the end and throw it away without a second thought. That is what makes bay leaves so strange. Why add something tough, forgettable, and practically inedible? Why do so many kitchens keep returning to a leaf that seems to vanish from the meal it helped build? If it ends up in the trash, what exactly did it do? To answer that, we first have to know what a bay leaf actually is. Let's get into it right here on Secrets of Simple Things. A leaf with a very specific identity. A true bay leaf is not just any fragrant leaf dropped into a pot. The one most people mean comes from Laurus nobilis, the bay laurel, an evergreen tree native to the Mediterranean. For thousands of years, its leaves have been harvested, dried, and used as seasoning. They traveled through culinary traditions across Europe, Asia, and beyond, becoming one of those pantry ingredients many people recognize long before they really understand it. Its presence can feel so familiar that many people treat it like a generic kitchen leaf, even though it comes from a very specific plant with a very specific history. What makes bay leaves unusual is how they are used. Many herbs are chopped, crushed, or scattered in so they become part of the final bite. Bay leaves are different. They are usually added whole, left to sit in hot liquid and removed before serving. That is partly because a dried bay leaf is tough, leathery, and sometimes sharp at the edges. It flavors the food far better than it eats. That already makes bay leaves unusual. But the stranger part is this: on their own, they do not seem very impressive. The flavor that works in the background. If you crush a bay leaf between your fingers or taste a piece by itself, the experience can feel surprisingly underwhelming. It may seem dry, a little bitter, and harder to admire than the ingredients around it. That is why some people wonder whether bay leaves make any difference at all. But their real value does not live in a direct, isolated taste. It appears when heat, liquid, and time begin working on them together. Drop a bay leaf into soup, stew, broth, or slow-cooked sauce, and it begins releasing something gentler and harder to name. Earthy notes, herbal depth, a faint floral lift, and a warm aroma that settles into everything else. It does not dominate the pot. It does something subtler and more useful. It helps the other flavors feel connected, giving the dish more roundness, more depth, and a more settled kind of balance. That is why bay leaves are so easy to dismiss and so easy to miss. They are less like a solo instrument than a piece of background music. You may not notice them clearly on their own, but remove them, and the whole dish can feel slightly thinner. And once you see bay leaves that way, the habit of dropping one into a pot starts to make more sense. But kitchens are only part of the story. The leaf that once meant victory. Long before bay leaves became a quiet pantry staple, the tree they came from carried a very different weight. In ancient Greece and Rome, bay laurel was associated with honor, victory, and wisdom. Its leaves were woven into laurel wreaths and placed on the heads of victorious athletes, celebrated poets, and important leaders. What drifts unnoticed in a modern pot once stood in full public view as a sign of achievement. That older meaning may even linger in language. The word baccalaureate is often linked to a Latin phrase referring to laurel berries, tying academic distinction to the same plant. So the leaf that now moves silently through soup or stew once represented triumph, recognition, and earned status. So bay leaves carried symbolic importance long before many people thought of them as just another pantry ingredient. But even in cooking, the story is still not that simple. Not every bay leaf is the same. It helps to pause here for one important detail. Not every bay leaf is actually the same leaf. The variety most people mean in Western cooking is the Mediterranean or Turkish bay leaf, which comes from Laurus nobilis. That is the classic bay laurel, valued for a balanced flavor that stays subtle even as it deepens a dish. But the so-called Indian bay leaf is something else. It comes from a different plant, and its aroma leans less toward the familiar bay profile and more toward notes that resemble cinnamon and cloves. That does not make it wrong. It simply makes it different. And in cooking, different can matter more than it first seems. Substitute one for the other, and a dish may quietly move in a direction you never intended. That matters because bay leaves usually work so quietly that even a small shift in aroma can change the whole direction of a dish. Why bay leaves belong in slow cooking? Bay leaves make the most sense in dishes that give them room to work slowly. They suit soups, stews, broths, tomato sauces, rice dishes, braises, and even some desserts, where a gentle aromatic depth matters more than an immediate burst of flavor. You drop one in early, let it sit in the background, and somewhere along the way the dish starts tasting more connected than it did before. That is why bay leaves feel so natural in long-cooked food. In Filipino cuisine, where they are known as dahon ng laurel, they help build the savory depth of dishes like adobo. Their effect is not dramatic enough to announce itself in a single bite. Instead, it spreads quietly through the whole pot, joining meat, stock, acid, fat, and aromatics into something more unified. And that is also why bay leaves are not built for instant results. Toss one into a quick sauté and you usually will not get the same payoff. Bay leaves belong to slow transformation, not instant flavor. And that slow effect is not just culinary folklore, it has a chemical reason behind it. What the leaf is releasing into the pot. What makes this possible is not mystery, but chemistry. Bay leaves contain aromatic compounds and essential oils such as eucalyptol, myrcene, and linalool. Those names may sound technical, but their role is simple. They help create the leaf's smell and the subtle flavor it lends to food. The important part is not just that these compounds exist, it is how they behave. When bay leaves sit in hot liquid, those oils are released gradually into the dish. That slow release is the reason a leaf can seem unremarkable in your hand and still matter once it spends time in a simmering pot. Heat begins the process, but time completes it. A quick sauté usually ends before the leaf has a real chance to contribute much. A gentle hour in soup, broth, or sauce is a different story. So the real secret of the bay leaf is not intensity, it is patience. That quiet, slow influence may also explain why bay leaves picked up a reputation beyond flavor alone. Why this leaf keeps being misjudged. In many cultures, bay leaves were valued for more than cooking. They were associated with helping digestion, easing inflammation, and supporting respiratory health. Modern science has looked at some of those claims, but in everyday life, bay leaves are still prized mainly for what they do in the kitchen, and yet they remain easy to underestimate. Their effect is subtle, which makes some home cooks question whether they matter at all. But experienced cooks often describe them differently. Bay leaves are the kind of ingredient you notice most clearly when they are missing. They can soften rough edges, help bridge flavors, and make a dish feel more complete without ever demanding attention for themselves. And because bay leaves do their best work so quietly, choosing the right ones matters more than many people think. The 5-second rule for choosing bay leaves. If bay leaves work quietly, then a bad one can disappear quietly too. A useful 5-second check comes down to 3 simple things: look, smell, and form. The rule is simple, but it fits the leaf itself. A small decision made early can quietly shape everything that follows. First, look at the leaf itself. Choose leaves that are whole, not torn, crushed, insect-bitten, or badly broken. Good dried bay leaves usually have a muted olive green or soft gray-green color, not a dark, brittle, lifeless brown. If the leaves look dusty, dull, or overly dry, they are often past their best. Next, smell them. A good bay leaf should still have a clear aroma, slightly sharp, herbal, and faintly minty or spicy. If it smells musty, damp, stale, or like almost nothing at all, it is probably too old to do much in the pot. Finally, know the form. Dried bay leaves are the most common and easiest to find, and whole leaves are usually better than ground ones. Fresh bay leaves can be gentler and more delicate, but they are best used soon after picking, and that brings the whole story back to something beautifully simple. A small leaf with a quiet kind of power. Bay leaves are not the kind of ingredient that asks for attention. No one serves a bowl of soup hoping the leaf itself will be the memorable bite, and on its own it can seem dry, tough, and underwhelming. But that is precisely why it belongs in the story of simple things. A bay leaf does not transform a dish by stealing the spotlight. It changes the background. It adds depth without noise, structure without display. Long ago, it stood for victory and distinction. Today, it does something quieter but not less meaningful. It helps ordinary food feel fuller, steadier, and more complete. Some ingredients are meant to be tasted directly. Others are meant to be felt through everything around them. Bay leaves belong to the second kind. So the next time you spot a bay leaf floating in your soup or stew, do not see it as just something to remove. See it as one of those quiet ingredients doing more than it seems. And now I'm curious. What is one small, ordinary thing you use all the time but have never really stopped to understand? Share it in the comments below. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden story behind simple things, subscribe to the channel and join us for more.